Hi everyone, it's Tom with the LEC preview of the final week of the LEC Summer Split, and with that, the final week of the LEC in 2021, because upcoming weekend we are going to be crowning our Summer Split champion and lock in the specific seeding for Worlds. We have two matches on the menu, but there is two possible finals because it's Rogue versus Fnatic first, and the winner of that faces Mad Lions. So I'm going to go over all the scenarios possible and what I think the matchups are going to be like. So let's start just with Rogue versus Fnatic, obviously. Now, I do think that heading into this match, there are two ways you can look at it. I think my point of view is that Fnatic has a lot of momentum and they are very driven, they are riding a high, and that is definitely something that weighs into a team's performance. You've seen it before, a good mentality, a good mindset, a good flow kind of in the team carries a lot, because even if you're statistically a worse team or your players aren't as good as that of the enemy, if you as a team are performing at the peak team level, if your synergy is great, if the mood is great, if everything is going fine, then you are going to perform better than a team who maybe has better players but has a bad mental state or something like this. I think Fnatic has a huge advantage there because their victory over G2 was hard fought, but they still managed to clutch it out. And I think they have actually a very good early game to bank on against Rogue. Now, if you look at Rogue, I see a team who painfully got their victory against Misfits, just got destroyed by Mad Lions, and even though you could say, in the second game and the third game they put up a good fight, there are points where you could say, okay, they should absolutely have won that game. Now, if I look at each of these teams specifically, I think Fnatic's synergy is really, really good at the moment. And that doesn't mean they always make the right decisions, but it means that their team is on the same wavelength. And especially in their early game, I think this team is playing really, really well. I think they find the aggression very well, especially in the bot lane. They are performing very good. Their players around mid game are pretty good at looking for fights, and this is the team that snowballs, right? We've seen this throughout the entire Summer Split. They get an early lead and then they snowball. Now, Rogue, on the other hand, I think is maybe in general one of the best early game teams in the LEC, better than Fnatic, I think so, but they play far more structured than Fnatic, and that makes it maybe a bit predictable, and I'm not sure how Rogue is going to match up against a team that is unpredictable, because if the enemy team plays by the book, Rogue is one of the best teams maybe in the world to play against them, because of Rogue, if the enemy team plays like the book through Inspired, who knows exactly how to counter someone who's playing by the book, can find incredible advantages and skill for there, right? But I don't think that's going to be the case against Fnatic. I think Fnatic plays so unpredictably that it's going to be tough for Rogue to handle. And we've seen before that if Rogue doesn't have an extreme, like a very big lead by the mid game, there's a real chance that the enemy climbs back and what people call Rogue time. That Rogue starts falling off about 20 minutes in the mid game and they don't know how to close out games. I think that could be a real problem against Fnatic. Now, I do think, given the momentum, given the stylistic matchup, given the mental state as well, I do actually think that Fnatic is favored against Rogue. I wouldn't say it's massively favored. I would say it's a 60-40. I think if Rogue manages to have learned from the loss against Mad Lions and understands, okay, this is something we need to do better, because against Mad Lions you saw very well that they got very punished in team fights, which is something they're not very good at, which Fnatic is very well against G2 as well, for example. I think that still Fnatic is favored. I would say it's like a 3-2, because I think that Rogue is not going to get the lead they need in order to secure themselves an advantageous position in the mid game. I think Fnatic is a team that is willing to take the risk, that even if they're 3k behind in mid game, they'll take a fight and they'll trust on their mechanics in order to play it out. And I think that is something that Fnatic is pretty good at. So overall, I would say it's going to be a 3-2 for Fnatic. I do think that an avenue for Rogue to win this game, I think, is through top lane, because while Adam played pretty good against G2, I have to say. I still think that if I look at the lanes overall, I think he's the weakest one. I think he has a very exploitable style of play where he just randomly decides to leave his lane to roam mid. I think his champion pool can be very much punished because, he obviously he played Darius, he plays Renekton very well, and he plays Olaf. But I think somebody like Odoamne, who is a very big champion pool, much bigger than Adam, which is understandable because Adam is a rookie and Odoamne is a veteran. I think that is very exploitable. So I think that if Rogue focuses on top lane and they get the lead there, put Odoamne on a carry and play through him, I think that they should be able to come out ahead. But I don't know if Rogue can do that and make that switch so at the latest moment. So that'll be interesting to see. And then we go to the finals. It's Mad Lions versus Fnatic. By my prediction, I think Mad Lions will absolutely stomp Fnatic. I think that Fnatic is kind of like Mad Lions Light. I saw this in a video as well for the LEC that they made. Like somebody from Rogue said, oh, they're Mad Lions but worse. And I think that holds true to a certain degree. I think Mad Lions is actually much more cognizant of what they do. And I think, I just think that Mad Lions will very easily win this. Now, I think in the mid lane it's going to be interesting because Niski played Twisted Fate very well, so I do think that that's going to be a champion that Mad Lions is going to ban, for example, because Niski got so far ahead every single game through the mid lane with that pick. And other than that, I don't know. I just think team fight wise, macro wise, late game, there's no team like Mad Lions. They just fight better. So I think if it's going to be Mad Lions versus Fnatic, it's going to be a 3-0. And interestingly, if I have to guess and say, okay, what if Mad Lions plays against Rogue? I actually think that it's going to be closer than last time. And I might think, oh, but you're expecting Fnatic to win against Rogue. How does that work when Rogue plays against Mad Lions? But I think it's about the stylistic matchup. So as I said, Fnatic is a team that is very impulsive, and I don't think Rogue is a team that can deal very well with that. Now, Mad Lions may look impulsive to the viewer, but I think they're way more structured than they appear to be. And I think that Rogue will have a bit better understanding of how Mad Lions tries to play the game. So I do think that if they match up again, Rogue will have a better understanding of how Mad Lions tries to play the game and adapt to that pretty well. Now, I do still think that Mad Lions would win this, but I think it would be a 3-1 with, maybe one of the Mad Lions victories also being very close because I do think, for example, Rogue should have won the third game, and I don't think that this is going to be another 3-0 because I expect Rogue to have learned at least something, right, from their loss. Teams always learn a lot from actual losses. So, I do think that Mad Lions will be the LEC champions, I guess. And those are my thoughts on the matchups in general. And let me know in the comments below what you think the matchups are going to be like, which team you predict to win the championship. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I will be trying to record a bit more content this LEC weekend. I'm going to be pretty busy trying to also cover 4 articles that I have to write. But just stay tuned for more content. I'll also try to make some content leading up to Worlds as usual. And thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this content. See you next time.